Welcome to Trading in the Trenches. I want to go over my watch list for this week, July 27th, 2025. Alright, so I got the names for my watch list written down here. And I want to make a watch list on Thinkorswim. Alright, so you're gonna come over here where it says create watch list. Alright. These are the names on my watch list. Let me see if I can have them both on the screen together. Oops. Alright, cool. So, create watch list. I'm going to just call this 727 or stocks for week of 7/27/25. All right, so we got AVGO, BOT, CVNA, EVR, PE. Hope you guys are doing good today. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. If there's a chart that you would like me to look at and give you my opinion on what I would do, feel free to leave it in the comments. What I'm going to do this week is basically what I've been doing for the last month. And that is, I'm going to look to see which one of these names have a setup, or which ones will possibly be setting up for this week. And then I will do my own technical analysis on it and then decide if it's something I want to trade. Alright, so we've got our watch list. We've got a few names in here. This should be fun. Alright, let's see. You know what? I'm going to make the watch list again. Let me see. How can I do this? There we go. Create new watch list. Week of 7/27/25. Boom. Alright, cool. So I'm going to make it again. So if you guys are using Thinkorswim or if you're using TradingView, now you know how to make a watch list on both of them. Alright. Double education right here. Hood into JBL CLAC LRCX MA Meta Microsoft NRG NRG. It's supposed to be a busy week, I think, this week. Earnings and whatnot. Let me clear. Alright, cool. So we got our watch list. And yeah, let's see what's happening. Let me see something. Close those. Let's open. So this is forexfactory.com, and they do a pretty good job at telling you what kind of news is coming up for the week. So I like to just look at this to get an idea. Monday, no news. Tuesday, there's news. JOLTS job openings, 10 a.m. All right, the red folders are going to be the high priority or high impact, as they label it, kind of things. All right, non-farm employment change, advanced GDP, quarter over quarter. This is on Wednesday, July 30th. All right. Also, pending home sales, federal funds rate. This is probably going to be a big one. Interest rate at which depository institutions lend balances held at the Federal Reserve to other depository institutions overnight. Sounds important. FOMC meetings, GDP, core PCE, price index, unemployment. So, and Friday, August 1st, unemployment, non-farm, PMI. A leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insights into the company's view of the economy. All right, so pretty important stuff. Basically, what this all means to me is that there's going to be some volatility in the week, right? Possibly, anyways. Tuesday, you got some possible volatility. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. An entire week where possibly the price in certain names can have big swings. That's basically that. All right, let's get started. So this is AVGO. I like to go out to the monthly and basically compare how much space is between where the candle closed and the red line I got up here, which is my 3 ATR. So this chart has about $10. Same thing on the weekly and about the same thing on the daily. They have earnings coming up August 28th. It's not the most appealing setup for me, but I will say if you like this name and you want to get involved, this is probably your best area to get involved, between 278 and 261. All right, so I'll put that up here real quick for you guys. Entry gonna be 261, 278. If you want to get involved in AVGO, I don't like how close it is to the 3 ATR. For me, that means basically I'm not going to catch the bulk of the move. I want to catch the bulk of the move. I want to be positioned as close as I can be to my buy zone to catch the move up. Basically what happened here, right? Catching at 108 and being up here at 174 now, looking to take profits. All right, so this one's got plenty of space on the monthly, on the weekly, and the daily is pretty good too. They also have earnings coming up. Look at this, Thursday in the evening hours. All right, so boot looks pretty decent here. Let's see if I can find an actual squeeze setup. It's decent. So maybe on a 30-minute chart. Yeah. So boot doesn't seem like it's giving any sort of setups. It looks like the move has kind of already begun. So I'm going to pass on boot. So what I'm looking for again is price to be not too close to 3 ATR on either chart. The bigger time frames, higher time frame charts, the monthly, the weekly, the daily. See, this is what I'm talking about here. Oh yeah. See, CVNA is in my buy zone, okay? They have earnings coming up here on Wednesday. And we got red dots on the squeezes. So this is a lovely looking chart that I am definitely interested in. So CVNA looks good to me. All right, EVR. This thing has been ripping since April. Wow. I'm curious. 86% in 62 days. Almost unheard of in the stock. Okay. This thing looks beautiful on the monthly. Still got space to run, another $50. The weekly is kind of tight, about $15 though. It's not terrible. But the daily is what scares me here. Been up here for a few days. Probably gonna break out, to be honest. Let's see. The 1 hour chart. Yeah, that looks beautiful. For you guys who may not watched any of my other videos, when I say it looks beautiful, what I mean specifically is that there's a bull flag pattern that I'm interested in. This is basically the bulk of my trading. I just trade bull flag looking patterns on bullish stocks, and that's it. All right, so this one's got a decent pattern. They have earnings, but the daily is close up here. I'm gonna skip it. There's plenty of setups. You can find setups all across the markets in different names, things like that. So I do my best to not force anything because it's not necessary. You can always find something that looks good. Look, this thing is exploding, GE. And they have earnings coming up. No, they already had their earnings. Oh, lovely. So they had earnings, and they're starting to really break out. That's awesome. Let's see. Just out of curiosity, where are they? Okay, so the next target up, it's about $12. That's cool. I'm gonna pass that one. I try to avoid trading charts that are essentially going straight up. This is amazing. Same thing, right? Since April, how far? 71% in 90 days. Beautiful. All right, Google. Talk to me, Google. So this monthly chart, beautiful, right? It's about $40 of space there can run. Weekly chart's got some space. And then the daily chart has been running up here. Probably wants to get through this area. So Google's a bit extended for me. I do like that it's moving. Again, if it were me looking to get involved, 184 to like 175 probably would be my buy zone. Yeah, at least for the bigger time frames. I'm gonna skip it. Let me see. Oh, before I move on, this is interesting. It's a 1 hour chart for Google. The buy zone for this one would be 192, basically like to 190. All right, you want to get in near the bottom of the new pattern that's forming, or rather, I want to get in underneath the new pattern that's forming. So pretty cool. All right, Hood. What's going on in the Hood? Wow. Hood made a high of 113 last week, or a week ago. Hood being up here, it's so extended. They have earnings on Wednesday. Let me see. 4 hour chart. Yeah, that's beautiful. So for Hood, I'd love to get involved, basically under 102 to about 96. This is the ideal area for me on this 4 hour chart. All right. I like this one, so I'm gonna set an alert somewhere. It's the buy zone. I'm gonna set an alert for when Google drops under 102. Or Google, you hear me? This is Hood. Where the hood, where the hood, where the hood at? Let's edit this. 4-hour charts buy zone. 96 to 102. Boom. Alright, so I got an alert for Hood. Let's check this out. Ooh, this thing has been bought up all month. Wow. INTU. They got earnings in August, so they got some space. This was the place to buy. And then ideally pump up. Looks like this might be running away probably into earnings, but if it came back 765, 750, excuse me, that'd be my buy zone. Oh, okay. 1 month. Oh, this thing is up there, extended. The weekly is as well. And then they have earnings in September. So this thing is hugging up there. However, I do like the shape of this. So I'm going to set an alert here about 217. Let's edit that. Daily buy zone. Gonna be about 205 to 217. It's about That's about 205. So real quick, this area that the price was being rejected from, now it's basically where I expect the price to be supported. So ideally entering along right at the support from this previous resistance. If that doesn't make sense, it's okay. We're gonna get it. So JBL is interesting. I don't like the weekly and the monthly. However, it's interesting. I don't know. I'll leave it on the watch list. All right, let's check out Clack. So Clack has earnings coming up this Thursday. Beautiful. The monthly has space. The weekly has space. And the daily also has space. I like that. This is on Thursday. It's in the buy zone currently. Doesn't get much better than this. So I'll just leave this here. It's about 906.50. It's 833. Cool, let's move on. LRCX, 1 month. Oh, this thing has plenty of space. 1 week, 1 day. They have earnings on Wednesday. So I'll leave this here as well. 1 week, 1 month, 1 day. This one looks good. They have earnings on Thursday. This is MasterCard. It'd be awesome if MasterCard had a pullback into this zone either before Thursday or after Thursday. I I believe MasterCard is going to definitely push into the 600s by the end of this year. So the price falling back into this zone would be basically a gift, in my opinion. All right, so we got the price from 553 to, what is that, 533. That's lovely. Buy zone. The danger zone. Oh, this is beautiful. They have earnings on the 30th. Price is just outside of the buy zone. I think some of these names who have earnings this week might make a good day trade, or maybe a trade from Monday to until they report earnings. So they report earnings Wednesday evening, maybe getting in first thing tomorrow morning as the price is in this area, and then holding up until maybe Wednesday before the close of business. I think that should maybe provide time for a little bounce, even up to this 735 area. A little $20 move higher can pay nicely with when you're trading options. All right, so Meta looks good here on the daily. Let me check one more time. Yeah, it's got space. Microsoft has been doing amazing. They report earnings also on Wednesday, so it's going to be a busy week. We saw those. Wow, the stock's up 50% in 90 days. That's amazing. We saw all the news that's coming out this week. Plus, we have earnings on a lot of these big companies like MasterCard, Microsoft, Meta. These are not like small companies, These are all several $100 stocks. So for these things to move, I'm sure the volatility is going to be it's going to be interesting and fun to trade for sure. All right, NRG fully extended up here on the monthly. It's got some space on the weekly, which is nice. And the daily looked pretty good here as well. They also have earnings coming up. This one is August 6th, so a little bit further away. What is that, 10 days maybe? 12 days. Cool. And it looks like it's falling into the buy zone. So I'd love to get involved between 144 and 154. NRG looks good. Nvidia's been doing its thing. Woo. That's so beautiful. Let's see this. Stock is up 100% in 100 days. That's 20K turned to 40K, 100K turned to 200K, $1 turned to $2. 100%. It's beautiful. Can't beat it. That is ideal in trading, and anything over that is just a gift. 300%, 400%, 500%. Can't beat it. Probably going to skip this one, but if the price falls between 164 and 158, that's probably a decent area to try and play either earnings. Actually, earnings is in late August, so that's interesting. Yeah, this, I wouldn't mind waiting for a pullback. Alright, Uber. Let's check out Uber market though. Uber is got some space. They have earnings August 6th. They got some time. And the daily is in the buy zone. I love this. Alright. As long as Uber opens up in this area, like 192 to 89. 192, 89 to 92. It's awesome. They got earnings there. All right, WEC, last one. That's the monthly. Oh, when's earnings? July 30th. Wednesday they have earnings. If they fall to 105, that'd be nice. If not, they're probably gonna pop up and make new highs, honestly. Yeah. I'm gonna skip this one. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 names. Still a lot of names. What I want to do now is transfer the names, basically. So AVGO. Alright, AVGO, gotta go. Boop, gotta go. EVR, 5, GE, Google, Intel, RCX, MA, Meta, Microsoft, Energy, Nvidia, right? Okay. Awesome. Okay, so that's my watch list for the week. Those are the names I'm going to be watching. Let me make sure I put an alert for all of them. Alright. Got that one. Energy, Microsoft. Would love to catch Meta on a dip. MasterCard. This one's already in the buy zone, so we got LRCX in the buy zone, Uber in the buy zone, CLAC. Let me write this down. So we got LRCX, CLAC. I feel like I said Google, but I know Google's not up here. Let me see. Uber. Meta is close. CVNA. Alright, so since these four are in the buy zone, I'm going to pick one of these. I'm going to do CVNA. It's already on my screen. And the price is in the buy zone, baby. Alright, cool. So CVNA. Let's do this thing. I just want to share something with you all. I remember CVNA in through here, about $7. I was looking at it. I wish I would have put money on it. I had money to put on it. This thing did 8,500%. That's an 85x. If you would have put 10K on it, times an 85x, $850,000. But if I had done that, we probably wouldn't be here together on this video. As I would be somewhere else, right? Living my best life. All right, guys. Real quick, this is what you call a trending chart. All right. Let me get my handy dandy tools here. Oh, if you are watching this video and it's helping you out, you guys know what to do, man. Like, subscribe, hit that bell, and stay updated. All right, so let's see. Charts that start in the bottom left and end on the top right are trending. Something like that. I hope that makes sense. Trending chart. So if I find the chart that's trending, that's step one. Step two is looking for an area to enter a position. Okay? By default, I want to get long or short, whatever it is. I'm going to say long because this is the chart we're looking at. In between these two moving averages, okay? If you haven't seen my strategy video, check it out. It's this one. Unveiling my strategy in iBid Edge. This is a strategy I came up with myself using counter channels, 21 EMA, 34 EMA. Basically, this is the buy zone, this is the sell zone, right? Basically. It's a simplified version. Along with my 3 indicators of here, I added the TTM squeeze. I'll make a video that goes into better detail, but basically when you have these orange or red dots, the price energy is building, and then when they fire, the price tends to fire with it, okay? That's the gist of it. And so what I want to do is basically enter positions in my buy zone when there's dots. The price is in my buy zone and there's red dots. All right, that's the whole premise behind this setup. So it's about to get technical, guys. All right, what I like to do is measure prior corrective swings in an uptrend to look for a place where I can possibly get long. What I'm going to do is start with when the uptrend started here, basically, when these moving averages swapped. Okay? And so what I would do is come to this tool, the trend-based fib extension, and just start measuring pullbacks. So the first one I want to see is this one. So you see how the price fell past the white line here, this 33466, 100% symmetrical pullback from this area. That means that the fib extension was violated. So this is no good. So I just delete it and try again. And then I just keep trying again until I find an area that lines up. Let me see See, this one's a little better. The low is still a few bucks down, but it's decent. Let's keep looking. Same kind of zone. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I thought that would be kind of big. Booyah Shaka. Now that one I like. The low was few cents uh, beneath this zone. The zone's at 326.59. The low came in at 325.86. About 73 cents difference there. But I can accept that. It's still, I think, technically considered a violation of the zone. But I don't mind playing with not having perfect technical analysis. And so now I'm using the Fibonacci retracement tool to look for overlapping zones, or zones that coincidentally come really, really close to overlapping. Like, these are within $1 of each other. Right. That's interesting. So as I go through, I have some saved templates that basically help me identify these zones quicker. So for example, these are all the zones. I can identify my zones by color. So now I just go in here, change the template. This is the 382, and only this line will pop. All right, so I got these zones here. Right now there's 3 of them. They're all from different swings, right? We got 327.01, 327.59, 326.59. Okay. So one of them is from this swing, one of them is from this swing, and the other one is the corrective, the prior corrective swing, this one right here. Everything goes to the highest high. That's the most recent high. This is the most accurate data point, I guess. I don't know. I understand that the technical analysis works. I don't always understand why. And I'm not the type to question it, to be honest. If it works, it works. I just move on and can enjoy that, accept that. All right, so we got some levels here. I like these levels, so this is what I'm going to work with. So the highest zone is 27.59, okay? So what this is here is technically called a Fibonacci cluster, which is just a fancy word for saying a mega support zone. So we're going to have this run from 323.88 to 327.59. Okay. So what does that mean? What does this zone mean? What's so important about this? What it means is that the price is expected to bounce off this area. And if it does bounce, then you're looking at the price basically going the opposite way. If it doesn't bounce, or if it bounces and then comes back through the zone, basically it means that I'm wrong, that this zone does not mean anything, and that the price is probably going to fall to the next zone or the next support, wherever that may be. Could be right at 323, and it could be all the way down here at 290. I have no idea. But the significance of this zone is that basically I can take a trade or take a bet, and this is my risk. Okay? So that's the positive part of finding these zones. You can define your risk. Trading is all about risk management. All right? Trading is risky. There's no way around it. Trading is risky, point blank, period. Trading is risky, trading is risky. However, if you have good risk management skills, you're going to be able to minimize your losses and maximize your gains. So what does that look like? Let's just say I entered this position here, okay? My stop loss, let's call it $322.99, okay? So I'm risking $9 on the bottom, right? From $332 to $322.99. Now, if I just went to basically where these old highs are tapping against, let me bring it a little lower just because, right? I'm risking $1 to make $2.64. For me, just this alone is worth it. I'm willing to risk $1 to make $2.64. Let's pretend we're going to put the top of the level at the 3 ATR. Well, why would we do that? Well, we notice that when the price comes outside of the 3 ATR, it tends to then get rejected or have a correction, okay? So let's just assume for this, we're going to come up to 3 ATR. Now, what that actually looks like is risking $1 to make $4.95, which is an even better deal, an even better risk-reward ratio. That is something I'm willing to accept. Okay, so this tool, this long position tool, basically is to help you define your risk, okay? So we got the support zone. All right, we know that our stop loss is going to be $322.99. And now our upside targets, right? The potential targets, again, could be this previous area where the highs have been hitting. It could be 3 ATR. However, the way that I like to find my upside targets is using the same fib retracement tool that I use to find support. However, this time I'm going to do it from the top to the lowest swing low since the top. All right, so that's going to be here. And then with the upside targets or settings, if you took a trade down here and just went to this first level of resistance here, you're still risking $1 to make $1.80. So that's awesome. However, the upside target is here, 387. This is the first upside target using the fib retracement tool. So essentially, you'd be risking $1 to make $6, okay? And that's if you got in here, all right? If you ended up getting in up here at the top of the buy zone, then you're risking $1 to make $3.31. If you happen to get in down here, even closer to the stop, then you're risking $1 to make $11. Your risk changes based on your entry. So essentially, your entry might be the most important thing in trading. Because if your entry sucks, right? If you would have entered this on this candle, you would have been like, oh, it's going up, it's going up. And then on the next day, you would have lost a lot of money. And if you waited in hopes of it coming back, you would have just done nothing but lost money until you would have exited that position. Okay? So the entry matters. So this is my entry. This is my risk reward. Upside targets. The most conservative target for me is going to be 350. The next target, oh, let me put this in parentheses for you guys so you understand where these numbers are coming from. The next one's going to be 377 or 3 ATR. And the last one is 387. Or the 1.618%. Alright. Let's see here. 1618, 618, 618, 1618, 3 ATR, 3 ATR. So we have almost everything, all right? Almost everything. We got the essentials. We have our upside targets. We have our stop loss, the area that says we are wrong. It's time to exit this position. All right, we also need our entry zone. So our entry is going to be between 323 and 337. Top of this blue line is the top of my buy zone, 337. And my stop loss is 322.99. So I'm willing to get in within a penny of my stop loss, put the whole bag on it, and a penny down, stop out. I'm willing to do that, yes. The closer I get into my stop loss, the better, because the better my risk-reward ratio. Right? If I get in down here, I'm risking $1 to make 11. If I get in up here, it's not even worth it, right? So I always get into my buy zone. I always sell if my stop loss is violated. And I always pay myself when the trade works in my way. All right, guys, you got my watch list. All right. I went through, showed you guys the buy zones. As promised, we did our setup on CVNA. The only thing left to do is find some contracts. So let's see, what is CVNA? CVNA has earnings Wednesday in the afternoon. If you have a high risk tolerance, then these contracts for this week will be your best bet. You see the implied volatility here is out the door, 152%. That is something. Most weeks, it's 60s, 70s, 80s. This week and next week, because of earnings, 152%. Okay. These options, this is the ask, this is the bid. The ask is the price the sellers want to sell for. The bid is the price the buyers want to buy for. If you want to get in this trade, if you want to buy or own one of these positions, then you have to meet the sellers somewhere in the middle, right? Where they're like, okay, this will make me happy. If you want to get in right away, you buy at the ask. If you want to sell right away, you sell at the bid. A good rule of thumb is whatever the spread is, that's what you're going to lose getting into and out of the trade. So, for example, these 335s, there's $1.15 difference. That is probably how much you're going to lose taking on and taking off this position, $1.15. If you've never traded options, the $1.15 is in premium. So in dollars, it's $115. And in that same token, this contract is not $21.80. It's $2,100 or $2,180. Okay, that's enough of that. Now, because CVNA has earnings, the implied volatility is so high, and CVNA is already in the buy zone. All these factors, I'm willing to buy contracts far out the money. So these purple boxes signify contracts that are far in the money. They're more expensive. See, this one's $60 or $6,000. And then if you go out the money, the contracts get cheaper. This one's 82 cents or $82. Okay? The probability that you make money off contracts that are further out the money are slimmer versus the contracts that are further in the money. The probability that you make money is higher. Okay. What I would like to do, because CVNA, the target is 387, I don't think it's going to get there by Wednesday. That would be a $55 move in 5 days, or not even in 3 days, right? CVNA has had some moves, right? Look at this. $25 in 2 days. All right. $26 in 3 days. It's not bad. If CVNA happened to have one of those better weeks, $26 in the next few days, it could get up to 360. Okay. With that being said, I'd like to get contract out here around 360. I'm gonna put this in my watch list. Or if that is a little bit out of your reach, it's not maybe affordable, then maybe I'd go a little bit more out the money, 760. 360, maybe these 380s. Maybe the 380s. If not, though, don't sweat it, guys. If this is out of your budget, we got plenty of names here, okay? Go through, look at the video, look at the buy zone, choose a contract. You're going to be all right. If you want to play this chart, but you don't want to play the earnings because the implied volatility is so high that the premium in these contracts is really, really high, then you can wait until Wednesday. Wait until Thursday, actually, because earnings is on Wednesday after hours. So this means after the market closes at 4 p.m., 4:30. So you can wait until Thursday. And then on Thursday, from Thursday on, when the price gets back in the buy zone, then you can come and position yourself to go long. Anyways, guys, I hope this helps. Happy trading.